again. This is Susanna Calvert from the Foundation for Family and Community Healing. In this series called Our Body, Our Earth, we've been talking about how the human body is very similar to that of Earth's, that we are a system within a system within a system, and we are just one of the subsystems of Earth and her body, which is the land, which is her physical body, the air, which are her lungs, and the seas, which are her blood. And we've been talking about the anatomical and physiological parallels. And in the last segment, we talked about when things go wrong, when there is poor health and disease, and how our body reacts by trying to physically remove or contain the infectious or foreign object. And I believe that that is what's happening with Earth too. Earth's body is behaving the same way as ours would in terms of our physical response and our immune response. And I hope that perspective has given some additional food for thought for where we are in our relationship with Earth. I wanted to talk more about wellness now because, poor health or disease is really an opportunity for us to re-examine what we're doing wrong, and it's a wake-up call. And I'm also very grateful that one of the more recent wake-up calls in the last decade or so has been this idea about caring for ourselves. And I guess for some time we know we have to care for ourselves with exercise and diet, and not just preventative care and medical care, even though preventative care hasn't always been such a thing. But more recently, folks have started to add this idea of holistic care. So mind, body, and spirit all working together to either create good health or poor health. We could either languish or we can thrive. And I saw this really very firsthand when my late husband was sick. And of course, we provided the best medical and nutritional care we could. We used all the technology, not only in terms of medical treatment, but in terms of diagnostic and interventional. But I also knew that if he did not have the will to live, that all the technology in the world may not save him, and that I wanted him to bring all of his resources, including the emotional, psychological, and spiritual, to his healing. And so I made it I guess, an equal priority, really, to make him feel loved, safe, and cared for. Because if he did not have the will to heal, if he did not have something to live for, then his motivation to heal would be diminished, and as would his ability to recover. It was actually very, sorry about the wind, mixed success. Like, his cancer regressed beautifully and he was given 2 months to live, but the drug side effects eventually killed him. So I know that is only one example and is not at all scientific, a statistical sample, but I think it is also in keeping with the trends with our modern society to take a holistic approach to our wellness and for recovery and healing. And so I wanted to just sort of think out loud with you about this, about what mind, body, and spirit support would mean for Earth. And I know not everybody necessarily is of the mindset that I am, that Earth is her own biological organism with emotional and spiritual needs, and who knows, maybe they're psychological, I don't know, but that Earth cares how we act. Earth cares what our intentions are and how we come to her. And it may be hard to intuit what to do in terms of providing emotional and spiritual support for Earth. What I do believe is that it won't hurt. Okay, if nothing else, I could be completely wrong. This is something that will not hurt Earth. It can only help. The second thing is that I know is that this is also not likely to cost any of us that much time or money if we don't want it to. So from that point of view, it seems like uh, it's a no-brainer. It doesn't hurt to try. So what do I mean by this? Well, what I mean probably has a different, looks different for every single person. I'm going to tell you how I think about it and what I do, but every single person's going to have a different sensibility and approach. And I don't think there's any one right approach because, um, I think Earth needs all of it. Earth needs all of these things that each of us have in our heart to bring to her and her healing. Um, and and we'll have a diversity of response and hopefully meet all the needs that Earth might have from us right now. So what do I mean by this? So I kind of liken it to the idea that um, we should provide the care to Earth that we would provide to any other loved one who is ailing. So if my favorite Aunt Ginny is sick, and I guess in my case, it would be my favorite Aunt Zoying or Maying or something like that, but for the sake of this video, let's say my favorite Aunt Ginny is ailing, what would I do to care for her? Well, I would first go to her side, right? Like if I wanted to really provide care and support, I would go be with her. And I wouldn't just go and bring my laptop and talk on the phone. I would put all that stuff away and I would be present, right? I would give her my full attention. Next, I would also notice and appreciate, like see how she's looking. Is she looking chipper and upbeat? Is she looking sad or tired? I would notice these things. And I would notice if her hair needed brushing or if she wanted a bath or a fresh gown or something. And I would notice those things and I would attend to those things. I would help her. I would provide that for her so that she could feel comfortable and feel at her best given her circumstances. I might also just tell her how much I love her, how important she is to me, how much I appreciate how beautiful she is and how generous she's been in my life, how she's inspired me with just her way of being, but also with her abundance and beauty, brilliance. I might also meditate and pray for her healing. So I tend to like to meditate, but I also pray sometimes. And whenever I pray, I always include Earth's health and well-being in my prayers. I might also, although this is less likely to be me, but I would, I might sing her a little song or tell a joke or do something that's unique to the way I like to express myself, to celebrate her, entertain her, make her happy, make her smile, make her feel loved and appreciated and valued. I would also just sit with her and just feel her and notice her and be present with my emotions and the warm, wonderful feelings that she has provided me my whole life. So that's just what I would do. For Christopher, I also, really attended assiduously to his care as much as I could, to the degree I wasn't feeling overwhelmed, but, read up on the drugs and follow up with the doctors and make sure he had everything he needed. And some of you might be more of that mindset to study and learn or find new drugs and solutions, cures, you know. So there are all kinds of ways I think that we would bring to this type of care. And not only is it unique how you would care for your loved ones, but you're also unique in how you tend to be in relationship with Earth anyway. Maybe you like to read and study about Earth. Maybe you like to sit and be with Earth. Maybe you like to visit Earth. Maybe you like to focus on her plants or her creatures. But in any case, you could take your current interest in your practices and just think about, well, how can I make that a little deeper, a little richer, as if this part of Earth needed my care, needed my love and attention. And even if we felt totally helpless, we could sit there and just be present and try to have empathy and share our gratitude and love. So I would love to hear how you care for Earth currently and how you might deepen your appreciation and care for Earth, given this idea that Earth is just like us in many ways. She needs our care and help in many ways. And I don't know what all those ways are. Of course I don't. but I think collectively we do. Collectively, we have in our hearts the solution to bring this to the tipping point where we can set the healing in process. And not just for Earth, but for ourselves, because one thing I do know is that environmental psychology shows us that when we engage with Earth in a loving way and with connection and care, that it is good for us. And um, we especially need that right now with the pandemic. We especially need that right now with our eco-anxiety, our concern about climate change. We especially need that given the economic challenges that many countries, including ours, and many people are going through. We have many challenges right now, but what has always been true is that Earth has been here for us when we needed her. And Earth was there when my husband was sick and provided comfort to me and healing when I just sat on my porch while I was caring for my husband or after he passed. Earth is caring for me now because with social isolation, I'm feeling a bit at a loss and unmoored, and so I just come out and be with Earth and be reminded of where I'm from, and that this is my home too. This is my first home, along with my family, even though my family may just be on the other side of an internet connection. So, so care for your own body, mind, and spirit, and find ways to care for your biggest supporter, your biggest beneficiary. Is that right? I guess she's your biggest donor, supporter. Bring Earth along with you as you care for yourself, and you will find, I hope, as I am finding, a rich and beautiful partnership, as we are meant to be with Earth. Not just with our body, mind, and spirit, but for us as part and parcel of Earth. That without Earth, we as a species and we as an individual really have no meaning, no reference point. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this provided some room for thought and contemplation and some inspiration to tweak your routine just a little bit. I know that my practices of trying to be more mindful have started with my intention to do that, to be present when I see trees, and that practice has just grown and provided more and more comfort and support